Kelly Ripa, a woman whose professional life was built on seamless execution and effervescent charm, was currently waging a silent, frantic war against a stubborn lump of hardened butter refusing to incorporate into her signature sweet potato casserole. She was dressed in a crisp white apron over tailored leggings, her hair pulled back into a severe, focused ponytail. Her movements were sharp, precise, and entirely too fast for a national holiday. The tension wasn't just the casserole. It was the fact that this year, she was hosting the entire extended Ripa clan, the entire extended Consuelos clan, plus a small contingent of orphan friends, 23 people in total. And Mark, her rock, her co-host, her partner in nearly 3 decades of shared chaotic life, had just flown in from Vancouver at 2 a.m., looking less like a television heartthrob and more like a rugged, unshaven lumberjack who hadn't slept in 72 hours. He was currently asleep, or at least attempting to, upstairs. Kelly loved Mark fiercely, but she also knew that the combination of her holiday perfectionism and his deep south laid-back, it'll-all-get-done attitude after zero sleep was a recipe for disaster more explosive than a forgotten can of cranberries. That's Thanksgiving, Kelly. Remember what you told yourself. Be grateful. Be present. Be chill. The mantra was about as effective as wishing the butter would melt by itself. She slammed the immersion blender onto the quartz counter. The sound, a jarring thwack, was the first salvo. Mark, who had been dreaming he was fighting off a pack of Arctic wolves while simultaneously memorizing dialogue, bolted upright in bed. He checked his phone. 9:07 a.m. Too early for a fight, too late for a peaceful morning. He sighed, knowing the sound wasn't a warning, but a signal flare. The war room, the kitchen, was engaged. He pulled on a faded college sweatshirt and shuffled downstairs, intending to be the calming, helpful husband, the antidote to Kelly's pre-party jitters. "Morning, my little sugar plum," Mark murmured, trying to kiss the back of her neck. Kelly flinched not unkindly, but with the focused intensity of a surgeon mid-operation. "Don't. You'll get sweet potato goo on your beard. It's too early for beard goo." "And a good morning to you too, Florence Nightingale," Mark replied, grabbing a coffee mug the size of a small helmet. He looked at the counter. "Okay, what's the battle plan? What can I take off your plate?" Kelly leaned back, hands on her hips, surveying the organized chaos. The 3 different types of stuffing waiting to be baked, the 2 turkeys brining in coolers on the terrace, the complex architecture of her layered salad. The battle plan, Mark, was meticulously outlined in the shared document I sent you on Tuesday titled, Operation Turkey Trot, Do Not Open Until Thursday. "Did you read it?" she asked, her voice dangerously level. Mark took a long, defensive sip of coffee. "I read the subject line. And I saw the first paragraph, which I think mentioned the brine. I was on location, Kel. We were shooting 18-hour days." I know you were." Kelly threw her hands up, the butter incident forgotten, the larger, more structural issue now exposed. "But the document, Mark, contained the seating chart. And I specifically begged you, to call your Aunt Rosa about her dietary restrictions because she's now gluten-free, dairy-free, and apparently joy-free, and I can't risk contaminating the main table with cross allergens. I need to know where to seat her so she can't accidentally touch a bread roll." Mark leaned against the doorframe, his fatigue turning into defensive irritation. "Aunt Rosa is 93. She eats what she wants and then takes a nap. I'll call her in an hour. It's Thanksgiving, Kel. It's about love, not logistics. Relax." Relax is what you say when you haven't slept and have zero emotional investment in the success of the most stressful meal of the year. Kelly shot back. "And I'm not talking about love. I'm talking about food poisoning. If I poison your nonagenarian aunt because I didn't check the seating chart, I will never forgive myself, and neither will your mother. This is not just a dinner, Mark. It's a diplomatic mission." The argument wasn't about the seating chart, of course. It was about partnership communication and the perennial imbalance in their lives. Kelly, the meticulous planner, and Mark, the charming improviser. And it had been brewing for months, a low-grade simmer under the surface of their perfect co-hosting smiles. You know what? Mark said, his voice dropping, the fatigue making him reckless. You get so locked into the logistics of everything, you miss the point of the whole day. Nobody cares if the gravy is slightly lumpy or if Aunt Rosa is sitting next to the dog. They care about us. They care about being here. And right now, you're so stressed, you're making it miserable to be around you. Kelly's eyes narrowed, the green going cold. She put her hands on the counter and spoke with lethal quietness. I'm making it miserable. I'm the one who sourced the heritage turkey, cleaned the entire apartment, bought the flowers, planned the kids' table activities, and yes, spent 3 hours figuring out a seating chart to avoid a family incident. You showed up 5 hours ago, and you have the audacity to accuse me of ruining the spirit of the holiday? This holiday, by the way, that you insisted on hosting this year. Mark pushed off the doorframe, walking toward her, his voice rising. I said we should host. And I meant we'd be a team. Not that I'd be your exhausted helper monkey for the last 2 hours of the prep phase after flying halfway across the continent. You don't delegate, Kelly, you issue marching orders. And if I deviate from the Operation Turkey Trot manifesto by so much as stirring the mashed potatoes with the wrong spoon, I get the death glare. That's unfair, Mark. Is it? He challenged. Look at yourself. You're vibrating. This is supposed to be relaxing. Why can't we just put on some music, pour a mimosa, and just be? For once, can't we just let things be imperfectly perfect? Kelly's voice cracked slightly, betraying the hurt beneath the anger. Because if I let things be, Mark, we don't have a career, we don't have a schedule, and we don't have 23 people who are comfortable and fed. I'm the architect of this chaos.